What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you a review for Stargirl Season 2, Episode 3, just called Summer School Chapter 3. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting episode. You know, I really enjoyed it. But you know how I like to do, guys. I like to give y'all the synopsis first, then I get into the story, then I get into what I thought about the episode. So, after getting a taste of the superhero life, Mike pleads with Pat to let him join the team. After seeking help from the Thunderbolt, the JSA prepare for a confrontation with the Shade. So, for starters, I finally get to see what the mystery was about with the pen. Because they teased it last season, but nothing ever came of it. And obviously, it was something they were saving for season 2, along with Green Lantern's, Ring and Lantern and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what this episode pretty much not only focused on the Shade, but it also focused on the Thunderbolt, with the magic pen and Mike, and basically what it truly means to be an adolescent teen who kind of feels alone. He's bullied, but let's get into it. The episode starts off basically with a flashback to the last holder of the pen and Pat Dugan. They was two sidekicks who was told to stay behind. While the JSA went to go deal with the ISA. So basically, they just bond, the fact that, they not up to par maybe with their superhero counterparts, or maybe they just need a little boost of encouragement and stop being put on the sidelines by their superhero counterparts. But anyway, they bond over. They even plan to have something to eat when they get interrupted by Wildcat, the OG Wildcat. And Wildcat calls for the original holder of the pen. I forgot his name, but he was the original holder of the Thunderbolt pen. He's basically told that he is needed, but Pat is still to stay behind, and that he got a kid to look after. Where he's at is where he needs to be. So and the dude's like, what? When we get back though, Pat, we will have that, that little tea or whatever they was about to have. And then you should see Pat just sitting there all alone and hurt. So then we transition to the present day. The present day, we see Pat's son, delivering papers or whatnot, and we see that he runs into some bullies. And these bullies, they pay essential to the episode because they like mini little mobsters. They shake down him and other people like him who makes money either for their money or for their goods. More on that later. More on that in a bit because we're gonna get to that. So, Pat's son Mike. He's been feeling left out. Basically, he's been seeing his father, knowing that his father is Stripes. He's seeing his stepsister as Stargirl and watching them become part of the JSA. He's feeling like he wants to be a part of it too. He wants to be a superhero just like them. He wants to be part of the family. Business, I should say. And but he has no superpowers. He's not like his father. So he's not a mechanical genius. So he's trying to figure out where he belongs. And after being shaken down, beat up by some bullies, he comes home, tore up, and he sees them talking about the Shade, and he tries to get involved a little bit, but they just brush him aside, tell him it's nothing he need to worry about. And so they just continue talking and acting like he wasn't there. So it was just like, he feels, invisible, left out. So he goes upstairs. He gets a call from his boss about another route, another job. And he doesn't have a pen to write it down what he was supposed to do. So he goes not accidentally, but he goes into the sister's room, and there it is, the pen. He grabs the pen and uses to write with, and the pen kind of activates because as we will find out later on that the Thunderbolt, the living like genie of the pen, I think that's what he came to. They consider him like a genie because he could grant wishes, but unlike a genie, he doesn't just he can't he don't. His wishes are unlimited. As long as you're the holder and the master of the pen, it doesn't matter how many wishes you get. I think you just can't. But he does have some of the regular rules, like you can't wish for death and all that type of stuff. But he also said you can't wish for wish for the same thing twice. And you have to be like super duper specific about what you wish for, or the wish could get misconstrued or misunderstood. Like he can say, "Can you find us the shade?" And he could actually just find you the shade, and find you like a shade outside. You gotta be specific about, super specific about what you want. But yeah, he ends up finding the pen, and he goes on his run, and he goes on his paper route run again. This time he hears the bullies not coming after him, but they going after some girls with some Girl Scout cookies and stuff. And they don't shake her down for money. Instead, they take the cookies themselves. So as they taking the cookies, Mike, he noticed he noticed that like almost everything, like the newspaper, everything around him is starting to say "so cool." So he doesn't know why it's something, and he sees that he sees it, and he actually I think he falls off his bike or something, and actually says the word "so cool," which frees him from the pen. I was about to say the magic lamp, but from the pen, and he is introduced to the Thunderbolt, and told that he is the new master of the Thunderbolt, and now a member could be the potential new member of the JSA because he has the pen. So he ends up. So Mike ends up learning about the wishes, using the wish to stop the bullies, but he learns that the wish could be chaotic at times. I think he wished for the Thunderbolt to stop the bullies. And he kept he was making stop sign, a whole bunch of stop signs fall down and pin them and stuff to stop them. And he was like, okay, that's enough. I think you done you done what he needed you to do. But he was like, I can't stop the wishes for me to stop them. Now I can't stop the magic until they stop. Technically, you wish for them to stop, and they're not stopping. So now I can't stop it till they actually stop. So that he's learning. That's why I started saying he started to learn that you got to be really specific. I think he even wished to be taller, and he did get taller, but he realized that instead of growing taller, he actually the Thunderbolt just put him on top of a bench. And he said, "Well, you did get taller. You didn't just He said that. Remember, you gotta be specific. You didn't say you want to be taller in body height. You just wish to be taller." So he tried. That's when he learns that he can't wish for something twice, because he tried to redo the wish, but this time correctly for his body, and he's like, you can't wish for something twice. So he ended up. I forgot too that Courtney and Yolanda. Something's going on with Yolanda. She's having these weird headaches, and earlier they were talking about how to stop the shade, and Yolanda, she doesn't want another incident where she's afraid, not because of her traumatic, her post-traumatic stress disorder about killing, because she's still having a hard time accepting that she killed someone. She killed damn, I forgot the supervillain name, but she killed him, and now she's having these weird headaches and stuff. And then they end up finding when I remember I said that he actually calls the stop signs. I mean, the stop signs was magically appearing in front of the bullies. Courtney and them after school ended up walking up on that and seeing Mike with the pen and seeing all the chaos that the pen was causing. This was bringing them to Pat Dugan. Pat Dugan now realizes that Mike is the new master of the Thunderbolt. Pat Dugan is not having it. He's not having Mike being the leader, and not the leader, but being the master of the Thunderbolt. He wants to speak to the Thunderbolt. He tried to even take the pen, but every time he takes the pen from Mike, the pen would disappear out of his hand back into Mike's hands. Pat basically, this is where Pat learns that his son is basically is a lonely kid, because we learned the Pacific. This is where we learned the Pacific ramifications of how the Thunderbolt chooses his master, and he would tell Pat, you know how it works. I only could choose somebody who, as a master, who feels just like me, lonely and lonely and sad, and all that type of stuff. And Pat's like, wait a minute, Mike really feels like that? He was like, basically, yeah, he does. And this hits Pat home, because he realized that he's starting to slowly realize that what he's doing to his son is what the JSA did to him. And I like that. I like how it was turned about, like how they showed that Pat was the person always getting benched and feeling sad, to him doing it to his son, and then have to be told by the Thunderbolt that he's basically doing the same thing to him. And he's like, that's when he really just sit back and start to think, like, wow, he's really sad. Like there's even a scene with him and the mom, him and Courtney's mom talk about, how Mike, how he learned from the Thunderbolt that Mike was basically a sad, lonely kid, and that he said he get it. He knows the way it feels like to want to belong, to want to be a part of the team, and not being able to be a part of the team. And she reassures Pat that he is part of the team, and she is too. Like, that's the whole, that's the thing he has to realize. Just because we don't have a fancy costume and cool weaponry or powers and stuff, doesn't make us less part of the team. But Mike doesn't feel that way. You see throughout the episode, they show that he feels like he's basically not part of the team. So they end up using the Thunderbolt to find the Shade. They had the oddly, like, it was on one of those chalkboards, not chalkboard, but it was like the magic marker chalkboard, whiteboard, and they wrote on there and marked it like this long, like it filled up the whole board. It was funny. That was the whole one wish they had, because it had to be so oddly specific that they had to read out this whole dragged out long sentence, and Mike had to use it as a wish, and he actually got the location to the Shade. They go confront the Shade, but they leave Mike behind. The Shade is to be the dude from the last week, the one that Pat confronted. And he also, I forgot, there's also was a scene where he went to go look for Eclipso, or the black diamond that houses Eclipso. He went to go look for the diamond, but he found a box that contained it, but it wasn't in there. It was like a fun little tense scene with the mom, Courtney's mom, and the Shade. And then when they go to confront him, they go find him. He confirms that he is the Shade, and they interrogate him, basically asking him, "Why are you in Blue Valley?" And he even says he's not being coy by not answering the question. He just says that the reason why he won't tell them why he's there, because it's best if they not know why he's here. And so they basically interrogate him, and he basically just being coy, playing around the answer, or not answering at all. And then Mike, who's was left behind, he's contemplating whether or not what to do, because he just didn't want to sit back and just be on the sideline. He wants to be part of the JSA. He wants to be a hero, and he takes it upon himself to be like, you know what, I'm going to go there. So he used the whiteboard to come up with a wish that won't backfire, and he does, but it does backfire because the Shade is too strong. And the reason why it backfires is because Mike busts in without knowing the whole story. By the time he gets there, the Shade they all sat down at the table, had basically confirmed that the Shade really doesn't want to fight. He just wants them to stay out of his way. And Mike, not knowing this, he busted in and used the wish to attack the Shade, which caused a fight between all of them. I think the Thunderbolt comes out the pen and try to attack the Shade, but the Shade ends up like using his powers to send him back into the pen, which caused a little static electricity. The little electricity hit Mike, knock him down, but then Shade would use his powers to pin everybody to the wall. But then he realized that he's starting to have trouble with Courtney because Courtney's staff is starting to overpower and didn't make the little Shade hands disappear. So he gives him one final warning before disappearing, telling him to stay out of his way. And Mike is basically contemplating and upset that he screwed everything up and that the Shade got away. And that this leads to a scene where Pat finds out what was in the box that the Shade was looking for, which was the black diamond that's currently held by Cindy. He was like, no, yeah, that's deep black diamond. And then, basically sitting in that thing's about to get worse. That's what was in that box. That's what he was looking for. And you see that Mike, basically down on himself about what happened. He accidentally wished that the pen was in better hands, and the pen disappears and finds this other kid that just like Mike, basically alone and abused. All he had is like his video games, and he was playing like his video game. His sister was messing with him because the mom wanted him to take out the trash. His mom was being a little bit of a prick, telling him that he don't hurry up to get out to take out that trash. That he gonna call the father. And she was like, "Yeah, you know what father gonna do when if he gets caught and comes here, he's gonna tell you that you're a loser." She don't say it like that. She just says you're a loser and closes his door. And then he gets down on himself saying, "Yeah, I am a loser." And then he hears a yoo-hoo, and he looks down and sees the pen, which means he's gonna be the new master of the Thunderbolt. I think Courtney had for the rest of the episode. Courtney was concealing, basically making Mike feel better that not only is he not a part of the JSA in the way that how Courtney and him is, the pen is gone now, and that's, like I said, that's what leads to the scene where Pat and the mom talks about what was in the box. And then the final scene is of Mr. Shade himself basically opening the box and like feeling around inside, and then goes, he's going to kill all those kids. And that's how the episode ends. So in all, the episode itself was a good episode. I give it a 9.5 just because it was nothing really bad. I just enjoyed it. That's just how I feel. But let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Stargirl. And if you enjoyed this review of Stargirl's episode 3, then hit that like button, that subscribe button, and hit that notification button so you get notified when I drop videos. Also hit that button up there in the right corner for all my reviews. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go nowhere because I got more review videos coming for you. I got two more.